Let's continue Love Song of J.Alfred Prufrock. Oh, do not ask what is it. So he says that a kind of a boring, useless kind of argument leads him actually to a overwhelming, a kind of a mind-boggling question, the question that he does not have courage to put forth or to ask. He says, oh, do not ask what is it. So he says, please. He is speaking to his second self, that is romantic self, you can say. One is real self, whereas the other just a self is romantic self. He says, please do not ask me the question. Why? Because that question is quite mind-boggling, and somehow I want to avoid, somehow I do not want somebody to put that question. Why? Because I don't know how to answer it, because I'm out of answer. He says, let us go and make our visit. He says, forget about the question. Let's go to that place. I have already made a plan of going. He sets aside that certain very important question. Why? Because probably he thinks time is not fit, or maybe he's not prepared particularly to put that question, or particularly to answer that question. So he says, let's go. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. Now see, one thing, bear in mind all the time. See, Prufrock is where he is in the first line till the last line. He does not make any visit. He does not go on any visit. He does not travel at all. His mind is only and only traveling. Why? Because the poem is written in stream of consciousness format. Stream of consciousness technique is used. The poem is interior monologue. Here, simply the poet, that is T.S. Eliot, is letting us know about that flow of thought going straightway in the mind, in the brain of the speaker, that is Prufrock. He will go nowhere, remember that. Now he remembers, now he thinks that he has arrived at that place where he actually intended to go. And the place where he intended to go, there is a certain room, or yes, there is a certain room, and in that room, women come and go. While coming and going, they are talking about Michelangelo, the greatest sculptor, painter, architect, and poet of the 16th century. And what does actually Prufrock, or you can say that T.S. Eliot, mean by giving a reference of the mention of Michelangelo by those women? Eliot does not mean, or Prufrock does not mean, that they were intellectual. They knew the taste of literature, art, and architecture. Eliot uses this illusion, or uses this only to show the hollowness, only to show the artificiality of the people of his time in his country. They referred or they spoke about such great personalities only to show their intellectuality, their taste. But the matter of the fact was that they had no understanding of literature, no understanding of art and architecture. They were absolutely empty from inside. They were simply showing off. But they had no taste of that kind of literature. So he says that he has heard, he means to say that here, Prufrock, that first time he is not going there. He has been to that place many times. Almost every day he goes there. And there he has noticed women coming and going, talking of Michelangelo, showing their artificiality. Because people at that time in America, in Boston, had become very much artificial, very much mechanical. And that he shows. The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the window pane. So see now Eliot shifts. Prufrock now looks at the window panes, window glasses. It means Prufrock is in a room. Probably it is just the beginning of winter, because generally in the beginning of winter, fog starts coming down. And see, now he can see the fog settling on the glass of the window of the room he is in. And see, since people of his own time had lost human traits, they were no longer human. Why? Because they had become mechanical. They had no emotion, no feeling. They believed in one night stand. They did not believe in permanent kind of relation. They simply believed in meeting and mating, and that's it. Here he looks at the abstract thing, that is inanimate thing, that is lifeless thing, that is what? Fog, as a living being, loaded with the human traits and qualities, loaded with the qualities of the livings. And now he looks at the fog and describes the fog, all the movements and actions of the fog, by bearing in mind the cat. Now he has personified what? Fog. Here he looks at the fog as a cat, just as a cat is seen rubbing its back against something to brush aside something that is stuck, or to make its body part dry. In the same manner, here he says that the fog, like a cat, is rubbing its back against the window pane. See, the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle on the window panes. And now he said the yellow smoke, that is fog. He says that now the fog is rubbing. Why? Because for him the fog is no longer a fog. He has attributed human, just a cat-like quality, or quality of the cat, or the movement or the action of the cat, to this fog. And now for him the fog is a cat. And since something is stuck or sticks all around the muzzle. This is the part of the face of the cat or the animals, including nose, mouth, that is called muzzle. So he says that now the fog, it means for him the fog is no longer a fog. For him the fog is a cat, and now the cat has something stuck all around its maybe lip. It's just its mouth, and now the cat is rubbing its muzzle in order to brush aside or in order to remove something that is stuck there. See, the imagery, cat imagery dominates this very particular part of the poem. Licked its tongue into the corners of the evening. And see, how does the fog, a little bit part of the fog, a little bit fog that was there or that is there in the corner of the window, in the corner of the street, how does it disappear? Just as something that is stuck all about the mouth of the cat disappears when the cat sticks its tongue out and uses its tongue to remove whatever stuck there. In the same manner here the fog disappears. Lingered upon the pools that stands in the drains. Now he can see he has pool, he has drains, these water bodies, and you know that where there are water bodies we notice drains, thick blanket of the fog, but that thick blanket of the fog disappears as quickly as that sticks all about the mouth of the cat when the cat allows its tongue to use to remove that. So that's it in this video, dear learners. We'll continue, and in the next video I'll cover next lines of the poem